There is a plastic bucket sitting behind my tool shed right now. It is half full of rainwater, a few handfuls of grass clippings, and 1 spoonful of a powder that costs about €4 at any garden center. Every female mosquito within 100 meters of my house is flying toward that bucket at this very moment to lay her eggs. And every single egg she lays there is going to be dead within a day. It will not harm the bees my neighbor keeps 2 gardens down. It will not harm the butterflies on Hilda's lavender. It will not harm our old cat, the swallows under the eaves, or the children who run barefoot through the grass in the evening. It kills exactly one thing and nothing else. My name is Martin Hofer. I grew up on a small farm in the foothills south of Munich, and I still live there today with my wife Hilda. We have no bug zapper humming on the porch. We have no company that comes once a month with a tank on a truck to spray our garden. And I cannot remember the last time a mosquito bit me while I sat outside with my coffee in the evening. I am going to show you exactly what we do, in the order we do it, with what it costs and where to put it. And then I am going to tell you the part that should bother you a little, which is that the pest companies in your town have known about this method for 40 years, and most of them still spray something that kills the bees right along with the mosquitoes. Because the Be-Safe way does not need to come back every month at 60 or 80 euros a visit. Stay with me to the end, because by the time we are done, you will know how to clear your own garden this weekend for less than the cost of one single professional treatment. Let me start with what most people get completely wrong, because if you do not understand this one thing, nothing else I tell you will make sense. Mosquitoes do not fly in from the forest. They do not drift over from the neighbor's pond on the wind. Every single mosquito that bites you on your own terrace was born on your own property, in water, in standing water, and not very much of it either. A bottle cap of rain caught in the fold of an old tarp is enough. A gutter holding half a cup of water for 4 days is enough. The little saucer under your balcony flower pot is enough. A female mosquito can lay anywhere from a handful of eggs to a few hundred at once, and she can do it in less water than you could hold in your 2 hands. That is the whole game, right there. If standing water sits on your property for more than 4 days, you are running a mosquito nursery without knowing it. And if you poison that water so the eggs cannot hatch, you have solved the whole problem right at its source, before a single mosquito ever gets wings. This is what my grandmother's household always did. My grandfather walked the property every Saturday morning in summer with an old tin watering can, and he tipped out every saucer, every fold in a tarp, every wheelbarrow that had caught rain during the week. Rosina, my grandmother, called it going around the corners. And in the spots he could not simply tip out, the low patch by the barn, the rain barrel by the kitchen door, he had another trick, and I am going to show you that trick right now. Most people today want to kill the mosquito after it has already hatched and is biting them on the arm. We kill it in the water, before it ever has wings. Our way takes about an hour a month. Their way takes a monthly bill and a garden that smells like a chemical shop after every visit. Here is what I want you to do this weekend. You will need 3 things: a bucket, dark colored, not white, I will explain why in a moment, a few handfuls of grass clippings or dead leaves, and 1 small container of something you will find in the garden section of any hardware store, sometimes near the pond supplies, sold under names like mosquito control granules. About 4 to 6 euros, give or take. You set your bucket somewhere out of the way. Behind a shed, under a hedge, along the back fence, never next to where you sit and eat in the evening. You want the mosquitoes drawn away from you, not toward you. Fill the bucket about halfway with water. Rainwater is best, but tap water works fine. Then toss in a handful of grass clippings and a few dead leaves. Nothing fancy, just enough to make the water look a little dirty, a little swampy. Why a dark bucket? Because a female mosquito hunting for a place to lay her eggs is looking for water that looks like the still, shaded pools her species has used for millions of years. A bright bucket sitting in full sun does not look like home to her. A dark bucket in the shade does. The color really does matter. Trust me on that. Why the grass clippings? As they break down, they release the same smell that decaying plant matter gives off in a real pond. The exact scent that tells a female mosquito this is a safe place to leave her young. You are not making a swamp. You are making a fake swamp, and it becomes the single most attractive piece of real estate on your whole property as far as she is concerned. Now here is the part that turns your fake swamp into a graveyard. You sprinkle 1 small spoonful of the granules across the top of the water. That is all. You do not stir it in. 1 spoonful, floating. What you have just added is something called BTI, short for a bacterium with a very long Latin name that nobody in my village bothers to say out loud. It is not a chemical poison the way most people picture one. It is a living organism that occurs naturally in soil all over the world. And what makes it remarkable is that it kills exactly one kind of creature and nothing else. When a mosquito larva, the little wriggling worm that hatches from the egg and lives in the water for about a week before it grows wings, eats a particle of this bacterium, it gets a hole torn in its stomach lining. Within a day, it is dead. It works on mosquito larvae, and on black fly and fungus gnat larvae, and that is essentially it. It does not touch bees. It does not touch butterflies. It does not touch dragonflies, which actually hunt mosquitoes themselves. It does not touch fish, frogs, songbirds, or your dog if she sticks her nose in the bucket. I am not softening this for effect. The reason it is so specific is that the gut of a mosquito larva has a particular chemistry, and the toxin only switches on in that exact condition. A honeybee's gut is completely different. So is yours. So is everything else's. Germany has used this exact bacterium in public mosquito control along the Rhine Valley since the early 1980s, dropped from small aircraft over marshland every summer for over 40 years now. It is considered one of the safest pest control tools there is, and it has been for that long. So why does the pest control company in your town not use it? Most of them simply do not, and the reason is not complicated. This bacterium is cheap. It is sold over the counter, and once a family knows about it, that family does not need a monthly contract anymore. A small container will last one household the whole summer. A monthly spray service costs far more than that in a single visit. You can work out for yourself which one a company would rather sell you. 1 spoonful in a half-full bucket will kill every mosquito egg laid there for the next 2 to 4 weeks. After that, the bacterium breaks down, and you sprinkle in another spoonful. That is the entire maintenance schedule. Now, here is how you make this work for your whole property, because 1 bucket behind 1 shed will not clear a full garden on its own. You want at least 3 buckets, 1 on each side of the house, always tucked away from where you sit or eat or let the children play. I keep 1 behind the woodpile on the north side, 1 behind the compost heap on the east side, and 1 tucked behind Hilda's rosemary on the west side, mostly so she does not see it and complain about how it looks. She has strong opinions about the garden, and I have learned not to argue with her about it. If you have a flower bed where a bucket would look out of place, take the lid that came with it, screw 4 short wooden legs into the underside, and rest it on top like a little hat. That keeps rain from filling the bucket and washing out the bacterium, while mosquitoes can still fly underneath to lay their eggs. A few euros in scrap wood, 5 minutes with a drill. For the spots where you cannot put a bucket at all, a ditch, a low patch of ground that holds water after heavy rain, a stock tank by the barn, there is the same bacterium sold in a solid form, small tablets that look like little brown discs. You simply toss 1 in. Each one covers a good stretch of standing water and lasts about a month. I keep a small tin of them in the mudroom and drop 1 into the rain barrel by the kitchen door on the 1st of every month from May through September. And here is something most people completely overlook: your gutters. If your gutters have any buildup of leaves or debris, they are holding water, not much, but just enough. A spoonful of the granules straight into the gutter every few weeks during mosquito season shuts down what is probably the single biggest mosquito breeding ground on your entire property. Most homeowners have no idea their own roof is doing this to them. The mosquitoes know it very well. Before I move on, let me say a word about the part you cannot buy at any store, and that is walking your own property. Once a week in summer, in the cool of the morning, take an empty can or small bucket and walk the whole yard. Every saucer under every pot, the wheelbarrow leaned against the barn wall, the old bowl by the back door nobody uses anymore, the folds in a tarp over the woodpile, the paddling pool the children left out, the bird bath, the clogged downspout, the old tire, if you still have one lying around, and please get rid of it if you do, because an old tire is the single worst mosquito factory ever invented by accident. Tip it all out, turn it over, walk the whole line. This is half the battle, and it costs us nothing but 5 minutes a week. Once you have walked the property and set out the buckets and treated the gutters, you have handled the eggs and the larvae. But there are still adult mosquitoes flying right now, hatched last week, looking for blood before they lay one more batch of eggs. They will not read your mind and go straight to the bucket. They will come find you on the terrace instead. So we handle the adults too, and this is the second piece of the whole system, and it is also completely safe for bees. What we use is real essential oils, the actual concentrated extracts, not perfume. Cedarwood, rosemary, clove, lemongrass, peppermint. These are plant compounds that people all over the world have used as insect repellents for thousands of years, long before anything else existed. You buy one of these mixed already in a bottle from the garden center, and you use a simple pump-up garden sprayer, the kind you fill, pump by hand, and carry over your shoulder. About 30 or 40 euros, and it lasts a lifetime. Fill the tank about 3/4 full with water, shake your bottle of oil well because it settles, and pour in the amount the label recommends. Shake the whole sprayer until the water turns cloudy like milk, and then go around your property. Here's the trick most people miss. Do not spray the open air, the oil evaporates too fast and you waste it. What you spray is the underside of every leaf in your hedges, the eaves of your porch, the underside of your deck, the back of your woodpile. During the day, mosquitoes rest in exactly these shaded, protected spots, waiting for evening. Spray those resting places and you reach the whole adult population in one afternoon. Just never spray flowers that are in bloom, because even though the oil will not kill a bee, it will keep her from wanting to land there, and that is the opposite of what we want for the pollinators. I do our whole property, the terrace, the hedges, the woodpile, in about 40 minutes, and it lasts 2 to 3 weeks depending on rain. Now think about what this whole system actually costs. Buckets, the bacterium, the tablets for the gutter, the oil spray, altogether comes to less than the price of one single visit from a spray company, and it lasts you the entire season. No contract, no truck coming down your street, no smell of chemicals hanging over your garden the next morning. Mosquitoes carry real disease. That part is true and serious, and this is not just about an itchy arm. But the answer most people have been given is to sign a monthly contract and let a truck spray everything it touches, bees included. That is not the only way, and it is not even the better way. It is simply the way that makes someone else money. So this weekend, walk your garden with a can in your hand and tip out every bit of standing water you find. Put out 3 dark buckets in hidden corners with grass clippings and 1 spoonful of the granules in each. Drop a tablet in your rain barrel and your gutters, and if you have the afternoon for it, get the sprayer and treat the underside of every hedge and the back of your woodpile. By next Saturday evening, you will be sitting outside in the cool air with no mosquitoes coming for you, and the bees still working the flowers just the same as before. Tell me in the comments where you live and how bad your mosquitoes have been this year, and tell me if you try the bucket. I read every one of them. Next time, I want to show you what my grandmother Rosina used to do to keep flies out of the summer kitchen, using nothing but a glass jar, a piece of paper, and one thing from the pantry you would never guess. It worked for 100 years before anyone ever sold sticky paper in a shop, and it still works better than what you can buy today. Until then, stay cool, stay watchful, and remember, the people who built this country with their hands knew things we are only just starting to remember.